I am Reed. I am 27, just an average dude. IV made tons of money mistakes in my 20s, and now I want to share everything I've learned to help you take control of your finances in your life. Let me tell you a story about two people. Actually, let me tell you a story about the same person at two different times in their life. That person was me. Back when I was 22, I was doing everything I was told to do. I went to college, I got a degree, I graduated and found a job that paid me about $4,000 a month after taxes. And I thought I had made it. I really did. I remember sitting in my tiny apartment the first month I had that job thinking, this is it. This is the start of something good. But then reality hit. Rent ate up $1,200, my car payment was $400, student loans another $300. Then there was food and gas and insurance, and before I knew it, I had maybe $200 left to last me the whole month. And I still had my credit card bill from when I was in school buying stuff I could not afford. So I did what most people do. I put more on the card. I told myself I would figure it out next month. But next month never came. I was stuck in a loop: work, get paid, pay bills. Stress, repeat. And the worst part was I thought this was just how life worked. I thought being in your 20s meant being broke and stressed, and that was normal. But then something changed. I met a guy named Chris at a coffee shop. He was maybe a year older than me. Nothing special about him. He was not some genius. He was not wearing fancy clothes. But he was talking about how he had just come back from 3 months in Thailand and how his business basically ran itself while he was gone. I was sitting there with my laptop open trying to figure out how I was going to afford groceries that week. And I asked him what he did. He said he built simple websites for local businesses and automated some of their boring tasks like appointment scheduling and customer follow-ups. He charged $1,500 a pop and had a backlog of clients waiting. That conversation broke my brain because I realized something. Chris did not work harder than me. He did not go to a better school. He just understood something I did not. He understood that the game was not about getting a job. The game was about building something that solved a real problem for real people. And that is what this video is really about. It is about understanding that you do not need to be a genius or have a fancy degree or have money to start. You just need to stop playing the game everyone told you to play and start playing the one that actually works. So let me break down exactly what I did and what I teach other people to do. It is a 5-step loop that I call the skill maxing loop. Yeah, I know the name sounds a little silly, but stick with me. It works. Step 1 is define your service. When I first started, I had no idea what I was going to offer. I thought I needed to be this expert at something before I could charge anyone money. So I spent months watching tutorials, I bought courses, I read books, and you know what happened? Nothing, because I was hiding behind learning. I was scared to actually put myself out there because what if I was not good enough? So I had to get real with myself. I sat down and asked, what is something I can do right now that someone would pay me for? The answer was not pretty. I could not build a website like Chris. I could not edit videos. I did not know anything about sales funnels, but I could write. I was decent at putting words together and I knew how to research stuff, so I defined my service as simple as possible. I would write blog posts for small businesses. That was it. Nothing fancy, no SEO packages, no content strategy. Just I will write 500 words about whatever you want for $50. And that was my starting point. Most people never get past this step because they want their offer to be perfect before they start. They want to have the fancy website and the professional portfolio and the client testimonials already lined up, but that is backwards. You define your service in its simplest, most basic form, and then you go sell it. Step 2 is sell your service. This was the hardest part for me by a long shot. I hate rejection. I hate feeling like I am bothering people. The idea of cold messaging someone and asking them to pay me money made me feel sick to my stomach. So I found ways to avoid it. I would spend extra time tweaking my offer. I would research more. I would convince myself I needed one more skill before I could start charging. But eventually I ran out of excuses because my credit card bill was due and I had no money. So I started sending messages. I went on Facebook groups for local small business owners. I found a bakery near my apartment that had a terrible website with no blog content. I messaged the owner and said, hey, I noticed you do not have any blog posts on your site. I write short articles for small businesses. Would you be open to chatting for 5 minutes? She said yes. She did not hire me that day, but she gave me feedback. She said the price seemed fair, but she did not know what she would even write about. That was gold because it taught me that my offer was missing something. People did not just need a writer, they needed someone to tell them what to write about. So I adjusted. I started offering a package where I would come up with 3 topic ideas and write one of them. That small change got me my first client. A local dentist who paid me $75 for a blog post about why flossing matters. It was not glamorous, but it was real. And that is the point you sell before you feel ready. You learn what works by putting yourself out there and getting rejected until you figure out the message that actually lands. Step 3 is deliver your service. When I got that first paying client, I was terrified. I had written plenty of stuff for myself, but never for someone who was actually paying me. So I sat down and I wrote the best damn blog post about flossing that anyone has ever written. I spent hours on it. I researched, I rewrote, I edited. And when I sent it to the dentist, he said it was was great, but honestly, I think he just did not care that much. He paid me and moved on, but something happened in that process. I learned that delivering a service, even a simple one, teaches you more than 100 hours of practice ever could. Because when money is involved, you pay attention differently. You care more, you notice the little details, you figure out how to do things faster because your time suddenly matters. That first blog post took me 8 hours to write. By my 10th one, I could do it in 2, and the quality was actually better because I knew what I was doing. Step 4 is fix your service. After I had delivered my service a few times, I started noticing patterns. Some topics were way easier to write about than others. Some clients asked for a lot of revisions, and some just took whatever I gave them. I realized I was spending too much time on clients who were not worth the money and not enough time on the ones who were. So I made changes. I raised my prices for clients who needed a lot of hand-holding. I created a simple questionnaire that helped clients tell me what they wanted before I started writing. That cut down on revisions by like 70%. I also started using a tool to help me outline articles faster. Nothing crazy, just a simple template I built over time. This step is about looking at what is working and what is not and making small adjustments that compound over time. Most people skip this step. They do the same thing over and over and wonder why they are not making more money. But the people who actually grow are the ones who pay attention to the data and fix the leaks. Step 5 is systemize your service. This is where things really started to take off for me. Up until this point, everything was a little messy. I was keeping track of clients in my notes app, I was sending invoices manually, I was chasing payments and losing track of deadlines. It was a mess. So I started putting systems in place. I set up a simple spreadsheet to track my clients and their deadlines. I created templates for my invoices. I set up automatic reminders for follow-ups. Nothing complicated, just basic organization that made my life 10 times easier. And here's the thing, when you systemize your service, you free up mental energy to focus on the stuff that actually matters, like getting more clients, like improving your skills, like raising your prices, because you are not wasting brain power on the boring admin stuff anymore. Now here's why I call it a loop, because you do not do these 5 steps once and then you are done. You go through them over and over. Each time you go through the loop, you come out the other side with more skill, more experience, more confidence, and a better understanding of what actually works. The first time I went through this loop, I was making maybe $500 a month writing blog posts. The second time I started offering email sequences too. That doubled my rates. The third time I realized I could charge even more if I bundled my services together. By the time I had gone through the loop, maybe 6 or 7 times I was making over $10,000 a month, and I was not working harder, I was working smarter. I was delivering more value to my clients and charging accordingly. So if you are watching this and you feel stuck in that cycle of work, pay bills, stress, repeat, I want you to know that I have been there. I was that guy sitting in his apartment wondering if this was all there was to life, but I promise you the way out is not about working harder at your job. It is about building something on the side that gives you leverage. And the best part is you do not need to be special to do it. You just need to start pick one thing, define it, sell it, deliver it, fix it, systemize it, and then do it again. The people who make $10,000 a month are not smarter than you. They just figured out that the system works if you actually work the system. So stop waiting until you are ready. You are never going to be ready. I was not ready when I wrote that first blog post about flossing, but I did it anyway. And that one small step changed everything. Peace.